Hi, folks. This is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. A fish I never talk about is fallfish. Yes, that's their name. They're a chub, or whatever you want to call it, a shiner that lives in our tributaries. They probably live in the St. Lawrence as well. And I know fish feed on them, but I've talked to you about the fact that I catch huge fallfish out of the Racket River, and there's some really big ones in the Grass River as well, and I know the muskies feed on these fish. But here's why I wanted to talk about it. I have noticed, because I fish these tributaries so much, that the very lures that I use for bass and even muskies, I'm talking muskies hit these smaller lures, but even these lures are hit by these fallfish. You would think they just feed on flies, but no, they will eat all the crayfish and the bug type of lures that I use. It's amazing. They don't fight much, but they grow to big size. But here's what I've experienced in watching them. It's just like any other species of fish. They have their periods of activity, and then they go sullen. They don't do anything. And I particularly can see it on a stretch of the Racket River. I have seen it where the whole surface is alive with fish coming up, just like a great trout stream in the Catskills. But in this case, it's these fallfish in the Racket River. They're everywhere, and they're feeding voraciously. And it's amazing because I can catch them on any lure I throw out. Then I can go through the same section of water, and everything is calmed down, and nothing is taking place. And it fascinates me because I've taken these fish for granted. I didn't stop to think that every species of fish reacts in really similar ways, in that they go through feeding periods, they go through periods where you can't get them to even look at a lure. And let's face it, if they fed all the time, they wouldn't even be able to swim. Just think of us. If we were to never stop eating, it wouldn't be long where we couldn't walk, we couldn't go fishing, we couldn't do anything because we would get so big. And fish have their own cutoff point. A lot of times we don't, but fish can cut it off and they can stop eating, and that's what seems to happen. It's fascinating for me to see how these fallfish that I wouldn't have even thought about before, except they're in great numbers and they will hit the same lures that I'm using, that they have habits that are so similar to bass or even pike. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.